apart, you dissect it, you deconstruct it, you can find the value, the quantums, the cores, pieces of value that it's made out of. And but yeah, I mean, until people concede that possibility, I guess you can't really have the argument about what the real core value is. But ultimately, I argue that all value is made out of a negative, and the only positive is to eliminate a negative, to eliminate suffering. And suffering comes in the form of hard pain and misery and deprivation, but it also comes in the subtle forms of just desire. Desire is a deprivation. It is a state where you are put in a state of discomfort, dissatisfaction, in a state of need, and that need must be satisfied. And too often those needs have to be satisfied at someone else's expense, and that's the doom. That's the paradox is the wrong word, but the impossibility of life making sense, or being efficient, functional, being worth investing in. This is why it just doesn't work. We are desire machines. Nature sucks. The plan sucks. But we can make it less suck, and that's what has to be. At minimum, we can make it less suck. I mean, that's right there in front of us. The less suck is right there in front of us. We can certainly attain that. I think we can attain something much more than just less suck, but that's going to require a huge change in how people perceive their existence. So, yeah. So anyway, but the brain is all reflexes. I mean, so every emotion's a reflex. Every thought has reflexively emotions tied to it. It's all a concept flies through your brain as both a vision, maybe an image, a symbol, and an emotional constituent, some kind of sense, feeling that goes with it. That's just the way the brain works. And some are dominated by the conception, the vision, and some are dominated by the feeling. And that's probably the difference between an emotion and a thought. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So the only other critique I'd have of crime support guys, he did use the word feeling a lot, and then once in a while he threw in the word sense. Like a sense of righteousness or a sense of deja vu, or instead of saying a feeling, I think that's just a better way to say it. That we sense things. There's a feeling, but it's different than just some raw emotion. But that's another slice of qualification that probably we don't need to get into. I mean, I think all we really, the bottom line is what we got to do is trace this to the DNA and what its objectives are, and then try to figure out how an intelligence takes that model and makes sense out of it. And that's the discussion that needs to take place. So anyway, this is probably 2 parts. I don't think there's much else to say here. But again, dominate, again, key thing here is to concede that yes, our brain probably has the word good and bad. It's probably a dominant concept. It's tied to, billions of concepts in our brain have one of those 2 words tied to it. And that's the constituent of a morality building. And how that word is tied is often going to be tied based on some sort of rational equation, because our brains are made to be rational. Unfortunately, they're dominated by a selfish emotional engine that will often tie those words based on that self-interest. But we're certainly capable of having concepts, software, reflexive programs running in our head that are a check against that, and that constantly remind us that we can't allow our emotional ego self to control how we define the truth. And I think most people know that they know that trap, and they know that they need to avoid it. It's not that's an easy concept, I think. Alright, that's probably enough. Probably more than enough, but I'm going to have to keep going over this and over this, no doubt. Till next time. Stick am later, probably, if I'm not more miserable than I am now. If I'm this much more miserable, then maybe not. But if I'm only that much more miserable, I'd probably show up.